All right, I'm finishing up my workout and I get a text from one of my guys. And he's talking about his coach trying to tell him and his team that to hit more home runs or hit for more power, that they need to focus on hitting hard missile ground balls to the right side. Now, here's the thing. You know, I'm just a baseball instructor and a strength and conditioning coach. I run my business. The results speak for themselves. I'm not saying I'm the know-it-all. I'm not saying I'm the absolute number one reference to go to. But what I am saying is I coach summer ball. I coach the best travel baseball players in the state of Indiana. And I've noticed a theme the last couple years, not necessarily 2017's class, but this upcoming, or the class I just had. The class is coming this next year, and from what I've heard, the class is coming the year after. And collectively, and I'm not saying it's a talent level thing, but collectively, the hitters are behind what other classes have been in. And they're behind, they're not driving the ball to all, they're not hitting the ball to all fields with power. They're not consistent, they can't hit off-speed pitches, and they can't hit hard velo. So to me, as a summer ball baseball coach for the Indiana Bulls, I'm seeing that somebody's not teaching the right things collectively. Coaches aren't teaching the right things collectively. And I don't care if you can hit 80-mile-an-hour guys. Everybody can hit 80-mile-an-hour guys at the next level. How can you hit elite-level pitchers? Because that's what matters. So let me get back to, I'm getting off on a tangent a little bit, but I'm so tired of hearing coaches telling kids in BP or in games what their approach should be. You want to have a template approach, but hitting hard ground balls is dumb. It's the same goes for just trying to hit fly balls. I think that's stupid too. You should be trying to hit line drives gap to gap with power. You should be able to try to hit to all fields gap to gap with power. And then whatever happens in the game happens. You adjust and you react to the pitch and you focus on what gets you there. So here's the thing. When I played at South Alabama, Division I level. People that watch this already know this. I say it all the time because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of South Alabama. And when I would try to hit home runs in BP, my swing would get too big and I would strike out a lot more in the game. Okay? I get way too big. Because my attack angle, my swing would get a lot bigger facing 40-mile-an-hour BP, and that swing would be too big for a game facing 90-plus pitching. I didn't like hitting ground balls because it's too much of a choppy downward swing path because we want to have that slide up swing path. Okay? Just like Ted Williams talked about for years. What I found that helped me the most is focusing on right center field, opposite field, about 3 to 4 out of the 6 rounds, predominantly hitting line drives, backspin, lasers, as if I'm trying to hit the ball through the wall or one-hop the wall. And I do my inside rounds to get a good feel on turning and staying inside the baseball, and then I go right back to opposite field. That's what I found helped me, and I started hitting for more power, hitting for more average. It allowed me to flirt with hitting almost 400 for a while until about 3 weeks left in the season, my senior year at South. And I hit really well that year, and that was the approach I finally figured out in BP that really helped me. So coaches, if you're trying to specifically tell kids they have to hit ground balls in BP, I'm sure you're not telling your pitchers to spike balls in their bullpens and spike their fastballs to their catchers. I get and I completely understand of trying to get kids not to get too big at their swings in BP, but tell them to hit ground balls is not the way to do it. Focus on the line drives gap to gap. Focus on hitting the outside, inside, middle pitches, high, low, all over the strike zone. Be able to attack all those pitches and be able to have the ability to hit all those pitches. And then whatever happens in the game, happens in the game. But you've got to have that foundational approach. So to me, I feel like hitting nowadays in 2018, there's a lot of people that fall into fads. There's a lot of people that start teaching stuff to be different instead of teaching stuff to help players. Let's stop trying to create fads and stop trying to be right and stop trying to do things to make yourself separate from others. How about we try to help these players and figure out what approach is going to help them the most, what approach is going to help them hit for a higher average, hit for more power, and hit those line drives gap to gap. That's what we should be focusing on. So yes, it's okay to have a template. Okay, my template approach, I tell guys, we want to hit line drives gap to back with power, backspin in the game. That's what we want. That's our goal. So in BP, we're focusing on hitting those things. So we have the ability to do that in the game. Line drives gap to gap, and I've been preaching that for years. And I don't want to get caught up in, feel versus real because I have a lot of other videos in that. But for the love, getting a tangent, I don't want to say something I don't want to say on social media. But stop telling kids to hit hard ground balls. Stop telling kids to hit fly balls. Line drives, that's the goal. Okay, you want to hit hard line drives, gap to gap with power. That's what we want to do. Stop preaching stuff that you wouldn't have your pitchers practice. Laird's Training, out.